It's been almost 2 years since we moved into this house, and it's long overdue to set up our outdoor space. And of course, it's got to be smart too. I held off on doing anything earlier because the ground was still settling, and jumping in too soon would have meant redoing everything when it shifted. This project started with a lot of planning, figuring out how to make the most of this space we have. The backyard isn't huge, and a portion of it is taken up by a parking part for extra vehicles. The original idea I had was to turn that space into a gazebo area, but we pivoted and thought, why not build a garage there instead? That could double as an office. Living in Canada means we only get 4 months of nice weather, so having more indoor space just makes sense for us. Less outdoor space area also means less maintenance, which I'm all for. The goal was simple: maximize the space and make it fun. Our yard backs onto an open field with an alley separating it from future housing development. For now, I get to enjoy the view without any houses blocking it. After scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, and getting some inspirations from ChatGPT, we sketched out a rough plan and got to work. If you've done as much DIY as I have, you know things rarely go exactly as planned. So a rough idea is often good enough because sometimes the vision in your head doesn't quite match up with reality. This project had a very tight deadline. My sister and mother-in-law were graduating from nursing school in a month, and we wanted to host a party at the house to celebrate their achievement. Now that meant we had 1 month, just made to go from bare dirt to full lawn. We started with the fence. I brought in some help for this part because I'm currently recovering from a car accident, and working alone with my current injury restrictions would have taken too long. At first, we considered composite fencing, but the prices were wild, especially with the impact of the Trump trade war with Canada. We quickly switched gears and went with an horizontal wood fence instead to give it some personality and style. Wood requires more maintenance, but for the size of the yard, it is manageable. Every couple of years, all I have to do is to restain the wood. I took care of sourcing all the tools and materials: fence posts from a local supplier, wood from Home Depot, and metal gates from Rona. The team rented an auger from Home Depot, drilled the post holes, leveled everything, and poured concrete for stability. In a place like ours with strong winds, extra reinforcement is a must. After letting the concrete cure for a few hours, they came back the next day to box in the posts. And boxing the posts gives it a much cleaner and nicer look. And for me, aesthetics matters both inside and out. While they worked on the fence, I started installing the underground sprinkler. For this, I also invited a friend over to help me out, and together we mapped out the lawn area and the sprinkler head location for full coverage. We went with the Orbit Blue Lock Quick Connect system. It is super DIY friendly and no fancy tools or plumbing skills needed for this setup. We created 3 zones with 9 sprinkler heads in total, 1 at the back and 2 at the front. The heads can cover up to 40 feet, and I paired it up with a Ratio Smart Sprinkler controller. To save cost, I reused my existing controller from my old house for this installation. Installation was super straightforward. Now, if you want a detailed step-by-step guide, check out the link down in the description for a full install video. With rain in the forecast and time running out, I had the crew pause the fence work and focus on grading the area instead. I had ordered screen topsoil to give the grass a better chance in our clay-heavy soil. They spread about 4 inches of topsoil all over the area, and once that was done, they went back to building the fence, and I continued fine-tuning the soil leveling. For the soil leveling, everyone in the house pitched in for this, using a lawn leveler, rakes, and tampers. It was extremely important to slope the grade away from the house because you don't want water draining back into your foundation. After a lot of shoveling, moving, and tampering, we got it as level as we possibly could. Now, I understand that in a few years we're going to have to level this out again because it is going to eventually settle. I ordered the sod based on a calculated area using an app I had seen online. All you have to do is input the length and the width of your yard, and then you can determine your total square footage. Using this information, I used it to order the total number of sod I needed to cover that area.
So the delivery fee for the sod is about $175, and I figured I could rent a U-Haul and go pick it up myself. The pallet is a 4x4 pallet, so That should give me, yep, lots of room to be able to pick up the sod myself. So we're gonna rent this guy and then we'll go pick up the sod ourselves.
I tried saving money by renting a U-Haul truck for $19.95, but after all the fees and additional mileage, it came up to $120. At least I saved a bit. The sod rolls came in 10-foot square sections, and laying them is as easy as rolling out a carpet. If your prep work is solid, this should be easy peasy. Before laying, I sprinkled fertilizer on the topsoil. Then we unrolled each section, placed them snugly together and cut around the corners or sprinkler heads using a kitchen knife. Turns out I ordered too much sod. Since it's non-returnable, non-refundable, and has an extremely short lifespan, we decided to quickly change our plans a little bit. An area we had planned for using paving bricks became a grass zone instead. It was supposed to be the barbecue area, but to save costs, we moved the barbecue to another spot. We also added an additional sprinkler head there by teeing off an existing line. After laying the sod, I rented a water-filled roller to press it down. Rolling helps the sod bond with the soil so the roots can grow in. And then I added the fertilizer again afterwards. New soil needs a lot of water, so using the growing schedule on the Ratio app, I was able to set up an automated schedule that helps with watering this sod every 6 hours. This will skip watering when there's rain in the forecast. The Ratio controller lets me fine-tune settings for each of the zones like the soil type, sprinkler type, slope, and even more, and adjust automatically as the season changes. It used to integrate with Apple HomeKit, but Ratio has withdrawn their support for it officially. But using Home Assistant and HomeKit Bridge, I was able to bring it back into Apple HomeKit, which means I can use voice to control my smart sprinkler. The fence, material, and labor cost was around $6,000. The sod, sand, U-Haul, and sprinkler system another $1,500. All in, the main project expense was around $7,500, excluding all the other miniature expenses. We scaled back some of the original ideas because of material cost, but the space in itself is now usable, and that's the most important part. Future upgrades include adding shrubs, paving stones, decorative gravel, LED lighting, and so much more, but for now, I'm happy with how it's turned out. I've also installed a retractable water hose on the side of the house. Rather than bolting it directly to the siding, I built a custom mount. I dug a hole about 2 feet deep and 10 inches wide and filled it with 3/4 inch gravel, and then I set a 4x4 post into it, poured concrete, and added water slowly to help it set. After it cured, I mounted the retractable hose to the post. Now this makes it easy to wash down the area, clean tools, or pretty much any other thing that we might need a hose for. For lawn care, I added a Eufy E18 robot lawn mower. It's a great size for this lawn. I previously had the Morator, which is a remote controlled lawnmower, and also have a Ryobi push lawnmower. Now both of them require human intervention, but the E18 automates the lawn mowing process with its full self-driving mode. It functions very similar to a robot vacuum. It comes with a base station that gets parked outdoors and protects it from the element. Using the app, the lawnmower automatically maps the yard space, which it can then use in subsequent automated mowing schedule. This robot lawnmower is not just all roses though. I've been running this exact same unit in my mom's house for the past 4 weeks, which we put there to eliminate my constant need to keep going down there to mow our lawn. I've been running it for the past 4 weeks and it's been a nightmare. It constantly kept getting stuck all around the yard, and I had to keep going there to move it if there's no one at the house I can reach to help me with moving it. At a point, I just stopped using it altogether and brought in my Ryobi lawnmower to get the job done. But after going through all the headaches, I was able to mark all the problem spots as a no-go zone on the app, so the mower avoids it altogether. It's been running smoothly so far, running it on an automated schedule. This mower is great for maintenance. If your lawn has uneven spots, this mower might struggle a bit. But with time, these areas can either be fixed, by actually fixing it, or you just exclude them using the app. The mower has a camera on it so you can actually see what it's actually doing. Although I have security cameras in our yard as well, so I can keep track of what's going on. One major thing I don't like about the mower though is the pattern. Because of the size, the pattern is much smaller. But I'll see if I can get over this over the next few months. So stay tuned on the channel, so I'll give you guys more updates on how this robot vacuum is performing. Overall, I'm really happy with how the project turned out. The next step is going to be adding decors and adding furnitures. All of that I'll cover in a future video. If you'd like to see that video, let me know down in the comment sections. I've got a few ideas I'd like to share if there's interest. Thanks for following along, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.